Why is it that politics, along with government, is one of the most heavily debated topics today? Why is it that my mom dreads discussing politics and government whenever we have family over for Christmas and Easter? Why is it that most Americans are unable to engage in intellectual conversation about politics without getting into heated debates or throwing around insults? Why is that? Last semester in this class, we learned about the theory of fact. The theory of fact outlines the differences between facts, claims, and opinions. The problem today is that people live in worlds of opinions and use their opinions to argue about politics and many other subjects. People use little empirical and analytical facts and instead follow fake and heavily skewed news that supports their own opinions. I have a friend, for example, who is very open conservative and is extremely into politics. He, however, is very difficult to talk to about politics because his opinions are so heavily skewed. If you agree with his political opinions, he praises you. However, anyone who doesn't, he classifies as a liberal. The problem with my friend is that he develops his opinions and gets his news exclusively from conservative sites like Fox News or Breitbart, or from seemingly obvious fake news sources. My friend embodies a kind of ignorance that has consumed America and exemplifies why politics is so difficult to discuss today. Ultimately, this leads to what is known today as political polarization. Political polarization describes the growing gap along ideological lines between the two major political parties. This partisan divide creates a national division and has a great effect on the American people, challenging the positions of individuals versus a collective identity. This partisan divide creates friction between the two parties that often results in hate and harsh feelings towards one another. Because of this hate, Democrats are often viewed as extreme liberals by Republicans and Republicans as right-wing conservatives by Democrats. This hate ultimately divides a nation by building contention between its people. Political polarization also has a great effect on the productivity of government and who makes up the government. In elections, many people vote for congressmen, judges, and even presidential candidates simply because of the small r signaling Republican or d signaling Democrat next to a candidate's name, rather than researching candidate stances on issues and policies. People express their collectivism with their own party through this kind of strict partisan voting. Because the parties are so divided today, most Americans cannot even bring themselves to vote for opposing parties, no matter how much better a candidate may be. Within Congress, political polarization has a great effect on both the quality and the quantity of legislation that gets passed. Because the parties are so divided, Congress is unable to pass legislation, and the legislation that does make it through the system is often of low quality or carries little to no significant impact. Congress's role is to serve the people's needs and represent the overall views and beliefs of the American public. Because the parties are so divided today, Congress is unable to be productive and unable to truly serve the role of representing the American people. But how does political polarization, or anything I'm saying for that matter, have anything to do with a bunch of high school seniors? Well, this is how. We are the next generation of politicians, teachers, lawyers, and voters. In order to put an end to political polarization, people simply need to surround themselves with a variety of different viewpoints, find reliable information and news stories that support their own evidence, and educate themselves on politics. The political divide today did not start with, nor can it be controlled by the government. The key to fixing this issue lies at the core of a democracy and this nation. The people are the answer. We are the answer. Thank you.